Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be teaching you all about how to use your Google Calendar in order to schedule your time and be as effective as possible during this distance learning. Before we get going, I just want to give a special shout out to Mr. Killian and Mr. Janowski who brought this up to the attention of all teachers. Alright, so let's get into it. Now, what you guys may not realize is that every email address, every Chris Array email address has its own calendar. And so if you guys go to calendar.google.com, you should be able to sign in with your Chris Array email address, and you should see a bunch of invitations and your Google Classroom. All of that different information should show up in the same place because everything is integrated together. For example, if you look on the left-hand side, these are all the calendars that are connected to my Chris Array email address. So the everything in blue, that is my personal calendar. So as you can see, it has a check mark next to it. That means that it's showing. If I turn off that check mark, then all of my events will disappear. So I'm going to turn that back on. And if you guys can see, there are a lot of different events that you have on here. So for sophomores, this isn't going to be utilized as much right now, but we have our sophomore assessment calendar right here, right? The 2019-2020 sophomore assessment calendar. So this is where our team has posted every test, quiz, assignment, project. We've always been posting it to Google Calendar. Now, here's another thing that you guys may not know. This Google Calendar will also integrate with your Google Classroom. So here is my Google Classroom right here, and you can see that I have multiple assignments due. So let's use Helium. Helium for this example, there are two assignments that are due, one that's due this morning and one that's due tomorrow morning. So if we go back to my calendar, you guys can actually see, here's Helium right here. There's my lithium class. And if I turn on, so I check Helium, then here are all the assignments. So this is a really cool function because it is going to take everything that is assigned to you on Google Classroom and then it's going to integrate it right here on this calendar. So all you need to do, everyone, is to turn on the checkboxes for each of your Google classes. And then that will appear right on your Google Calendar. So I'm going to turn that off for a second. Very good. Now let's move on and just show you what teachers have been doing so far the past 2 weeks. One thing that we're really trying to aim is to make this, to centralize our communications, to streamline all communications. So one thing that I have done, and you guys can look right here, this blue, this is my office hours. And for all sophomores, they were invited to this. And if you click on the event, what you should see is a link. This link right here will take you automatically to the Google Meet that I have scheduled for tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So if you click on this link, it is automatically going to take you to my Google Meet. And so then from this way, you can turn off your camera. Remember, always turn off your camera before you go into a meeting and then keep your microphone on. And then all you need to do is join. So again, everyone, these links are found right in the office hours that are being sent to you by your teachers. So please utilize this link for either Google Meet or Zoom. Utilize the link, whatever is shared to you by your teacher, in order to enter office hours. All right, so before we finish up, I just want to show you one last thing. So a lot of your calendar right now is probably going to look like this. So it's going to have the outline, but it's going to be filled with white. For example, this here, my BFF time. Let's click on this link. Well, BFF time, this is from Mr. Perkins. And if you guys see, I haven't accepted our BFF time. So whenever you see the invite, your calendar outlined but white in the center, that means you have not accepted the invite yet. So Mr. Perkins invited me for BFF time. Mr. Perkins, unfortunately, we are not BFFs, so I am going to say no. And just like that, it's crossed out, and since I'm going to do it, I can right-click, and then I remove. Well, Mr. Perkins is a smart guy. He realized that I was going to say no to BFF time number 1, So he sent me another invite, but this invite is with Zoom. Very interesting. So as you see, teachers will use whatever video conferencing that they utilize for office hours, and they're going to add the Zinc. So just like that, here's another Zinc. I click on this link, and boom, it's redirecting me, and it's going to take me directly to the Zoom meeting. And I do not want to join that meeting. And Mr. Perkins, I'm sorry to say it one more time, we're not yet BFFs. So I am going to say no, and then that crosses it out, and just like that, I'm going to remove it. And while this video has been going on, I just got an invitation for another faculty meeting. If you guys see, this is from Miss Dotteridge, and she has our Zoom meeting here. Yes, I will be going to that. And when I accept yes, it's going to turn blue, and that means that I've accepted the invite. So you guys should really try your best to utilize your schedule, right? Block off hour chunks where you're going to do work. But the most important thing, if you block off time, you need to follow through. So I need to edit today, so I put that in my calendar, and that time is now sacred. No other person should be inviting me to a meeting during that time. That's my time. All right. I hope this video has helped. Please let me know if you guys have any questions, and have a good one.